On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair, warm smell of clitoris rising up through the air. Here we are for another episode of Is It?
What is that from?
It's the Eagles, isn't it? I don't know why you get... Well, I can imagine why you get a warm clitoris in the desert, but why you'd mention the smell in the first line of one of the most famous rock songs.
Fair dues.
I don't know. Answers on a postcard.
Yeah. Can't wait. Rightio. So, moving on.
Today, Dan,
we are looking at the Pulsar Modular P455 MDN Sidecar.
That's hold and sniff there.
I mean, you can hold it and sniff it if you want.
No. It looks very, very cool.
It does look very, very cool. So there's a couple of things we need to get out of the way first of all. First of all, we've been asked quite a lot in the comments to have a look at this one. Second of all, the MDN bit stands for Mark Daniel Nelson, who is a Grammy-winning engineer, producer guy.
Good for him.
Who has come up with this. Not solely on his own, obviously, but he basically said in some of the blurb I read that he's been asked to do plugins for years, and he always only really ever wanted to do one when they were good enough that he thought it was something he could put his name to. And this, the reason it's called the P455 Sidecar is it replicates an API sidecar part of a mixing desk, which, now this is the bit that I thought was, that's brave. This emulates the sound. It's a stereo processor.
Right.
You put it on your mix bus.
Yep.
It simulates the sound as if you are running 8 channels through, splitting your mix into 8 stereo buses.
Yep.
And then summing them in analog before bringing them back to stereo.
Okay.
So it doesn't actually put them into
8 buses.
8 buses and then bring them back in, but it gives you that sound.
Right. Okay.
You can flip it into 2-channel mode.
Yeah.
Which sounds like it's just been running stereo.
Yeah. I can't. So how does it? How?
So I presume it is in some way adding the right amount of harmonic distortion and harmonics and stuff
that you would get from 8
buses. Get from 8 buses.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And basically, you've got an API EQ.
Looks very cool.
These buttons here, all that is your high pass and your low pass.
Yep.
It's just switchable. It's quite a cool way to do it. You've got an input up here.
Yep.
And then you've got the bias, which is quite interesting to mess with. Changes the sound quite a lot.
Bias is it an acronym?
No, I don't think it is.
It's not. It's an actual word.
Yeah, and you normally see it on tape machines.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But it's doing a similar thing. It's like adjusting the bias on the tape machine. Yeah. So it's quite a different sound.
Yeah, but I don't know what that does. What's that do? You'll write it out on the little bit.
I probably will.
Yeah.
Over on the right at the top here, you've got this section, which is it's the conversion character from the A to D section, basically. So you can see it looks either like a little cat, I think, or a little dog, or 2 different looking dogs. It's hard to see. One of them is called Willy, the other one, which is a punchier sound, and the other one is called Atticus, and that's more of a wired sound.
Okay.
Which I'm
not going to ask the same biased question. What the fuck?
Well,
Willy and Atticus.
It's obviously that he obviously has a dog and a cat or something. I don't know where they've come from, but he's decided to put the dog and the cat picture on there.
Okay.
That does change the sound of it quite significantly. It's the conversion character.
Okay.
Unlike another review that people have moaned about, it does have auto gain. If you hold shift whilst messing with the input or the output, they sort of balance each other out.
Yeah.
The metering is kind of weird, so a lot of people have got this wrong actually. So the white needle on the meter is the level.
Yep.
Is the input level, and the red meter is the output level.
Right.
Because obviously this has compression too.
Yeah.
So there's going to be obviously a different level going in, different level going out, but it isn't showing gain reduction. Gain reduction is shown there, which is a bit strange.
Yep.
But there you go. Let's put it somewhere, I suppose. Didn't have room for another meter.
It would have been nice just to have it down next to the
they could have had it. I would have liked to have seen a meter rather than a number.
Yeah.
But it's got to be said, the compression part of it is lovely. It sounds a lot like Well, it's a mix bus compressor. It's not. It's gluing the mix together. You know, I'm not going to say it's subtle. It's not subtle. You can do some really cool squashy stuff with it. But this thing, if you're subtle with it to a certain extent, putting it over your final mix, I've got to admit, going into this review, I kind of wanted to hate it.
Well, that I see. As soon as I saw the picture, I loved it because I think the GUI is really, really cool.
Yeah. I just there was a lot of pretentious blurb about it, but having played with it, I'm like, this sounds absolutely amazing.
Oh, brilliant. So where does it come from?
Well, this is another weird thing. So it's a company called Pulsar Modular. It's not Pulsar.
We were talking about this on the phone, weren't we?
So Pulsar, you know, they make the massive passive, and they make the GML 8200 plugins and a bunch of other stuff which we really like, the W495. Pulsar Modular are not the same company. Nothing to do with it.
Well, okay.
Yeah, so that could do with a bit of clarifying somewhere on their website.
Lucky them to have someone like you to make that so clear.
Point it out for them. Yeah. But yeah, it's got to be said, messing around with it, it was really interesting. I really like the sound of it. I love the EQ. I love the fact that you can flip it from sort of quarter dB increments to full dB increments. That's nice. It's really quick. You dial it in, you mess with it a little bit, and instantly you can hear an improvement. Yeah. And that's nice. Yeah.
So do Pulsar Modular. They give you a demo.
Well, this is quite interesting. They do a full 15-day demo.
Yeah.
But you can have it on 2 different computers.
Whoa.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bit weird. You don't normally test it on 2, but if you want to, you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So there you go. 15 days, 2 computers.
And they make a deal of saying that.
They do.
Like okay.
Interesting. I mean, maybe others do and just don't mention it.
Yeah, maybe. It does seem a bit of an odd thing. I'm sure somebody will make us look stupid in the comments.
Probably.
Yeah. So then, once you've tried it and you like it,
Okay, so the normal price is $225.
Crikey, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, you do get a lot for... I don't like an expensive plugin, but you do get a lot for your $225.
You do. At the moment in the sale, it's $189.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a bit of a crusade against expensive plugins, but you always have to look at what you're getting for the money, and I think this compressor's excellent, the EQ's excellent. This whole sort of summing thing, it's a bit of magic, really. It's not really doing any summing. But it does sound great.
It's a good idea. I like, it's a good approach.
Yeah, I like it. I think it looks good.
So it's basically the sort of the master section of a console, isn't it? It's giving you
yeah. It's that
simulation.
It is. Yeah.
Simulation theory.
It is. Yeah.
Interesting. So, with all of that in mind, Dr. V, you keep throwing the card away just when I need to know what it's called.
I'm very sorry. The Pulsar Modular.
Is the Pulsar Modular P455 Sidecar.
P455.
P4, you're right.
My writing is terrible.
Yeah. Anyway, is it shit?
It is not shit, no. No, I did go into this with a bit of a negative vibe because I thought it just can't do that. It can't sound like it's, analog something. But it does sound really good. Yeah, it totally works. So, I'm pretty impressed. I don't think it's shit at all.
Wonderful, wonderful stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, please like the video.
That would be really nice of you. And also, if you could subscribe to the channel. And we also have an Instagram, which is Studio Life 101.
And we've got a Patreon and a merch stand and all these other sort of things with the links that are just down there.
Yeah.
So, until we catch you on the flip, goodbye.
Adios.